Imagine a dream vacation. The calm ocean beneath a star-filled sky, the security of a cruise ship. But what if, at the heart of this tranquility, something sinister awaits? A thin line between reality and nightmare. And what if, in the blink of an eye, someone just vanished? Not in a dense forest, not on an isolated mountain, but in the middle of the vast, unforgiving ocean. Without a trace, no evidence, just the echo of a presence that was, and then was gone. This is Silent Cases Files, and today we dive into the abyss of a disappearance that haunts the sea. Case of Amy Lynn Bradley. On March 24, 1998, the Bradley family embarked on Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas cruise ship with the anticipation of an unforgettable vacation. At 23 years old, Amy Lynn Bradley was a vibrant, active young woman. She loved the outdoors, was fiercely independent, and had just landed a new job she was incredibly excited about. She was accompanied by her father Ron, her mother Iva, and her brother Brad. The cruise, departing from San Juan, Puerto Rico, promised days of sunshine, leisure, and happy memories. No one could have imagined that, instead, it would become the stage for one of the most disturbing and enigmatic disappearances in modern history. Amy's ultimate fate became a deep void, a mystery as unfathomable as the ocean itself. The last time Amy was definitively seen by her family members was in the early hours of March 24, 1998, between 5:15 and 5:30 am. She was resting in the cabin she shared with her father and brother. Ron Bradley, Amy's father, awoke and briefly saw his daughter sleeping on the cabin sofa. He stepped out onto the balcony for a few moments, and upon returning, Amy was no longer there. What started as a simple absence quickly escalated into panic. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, no indication that anything was amiss within the cabin itself. Simply nothing. It's as if the vastness of the sea, or something unseen within the vessel, had consumed her whole, leaving no discernible trace. The missing person alert was immediately given to the ship's crew. An exhaustive search began aboard the Rhapsody of the Seas. Every cabin was checked. Every deck, every corridor, every storage space was inspected. But there was no sign of Amy. However, the family later claimed the cruise line delayed the ship-wide announcement and failed to preserve crucial security footage, decisions that might have cost them invaluable hours. The U.S. Coast Guard was notified and launched a large-scale search and rescue operation. Aircraft and vessels scoured thousands of square miles of ocean. But the watery silence did not give up its secrets. Not a single piece of clothing, not a single clue. The immense blue, the boundless horizon, refused to surrender Amy or any hint of her whereabouts. This was the no-trace phenomenon in its most chilling form. A person simply disappearing from a seemingly secure environment, leaving behind an unyielding void. This is where Amy Lynn Bradley's case transcends a simple disappearance and enters the realm of the truly inexplicable. While her family last saw her sleeping, multiple unconfirmed witness accounts emerged suggesting Amy was seen awake and in various locations on the ship in the hours following her supposed initial disappearance. One unconfirmed account from a Canadian businesswoman claimed to have seen Amy accompanied by a man she described as a crew member near the ship's nightclub entrance around 6 a.m. Other passengers claimed to have seen Amy hours later in various locations, including the pool area and even the souvenir shop. Though never officially verified, these witness accounts became part of the case's haunting mythology, raising deeply unsettling questions about what transpired on board. But the bizarre details don't stop there. Over the years, Amy's family has been contacted by multiple individuals claiming to have seen her in extremely disturbing circumstances. In 1998, a tourist in Barbados claimed to have seen a woman identical to Amy, identifiable by her distinctive tattoos, a lizard on her shoulder, a Tasmanian devil spinning a basketball on her ankle, and a Maori sun on her lower back being escorted by two men. This woman was reportedly seen in a brothel under duress. Then, in 2005, a U.S. Navy sailor alleged to have seen Amy in a casino in Curacao, again accompanied by two men. He also noticed her unique tattoos. When he attempted to interact, the woman, believed to be Amy, visibly recoiled and was quickly ushered away by the men. These alleged appearances in such disparate locations and under such grim circumstances cast an incredibly unsettling shadow over Amy's fate, strongly suggesting the horrifying possibility that she may have been a victim of kidnapping and human trafficking. The total absence of a body or any physical evidence on the ship or in the deep unknown of the ocean, combined with these persistent, albeit unconfirmed, reports of subsequent sightings, makes Amy Lynn Bradley's case one of the most vivid and chilling examples of the no-trace phenomenon, where a person simply evaporates, leaving behind only questions and a lingering sense of dread. The disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley has given rise to several theories, each more unsettling than the last, yet none with a definitive conclusion. The first and most straightforward is that of an accidental fall overboard. Perhaps Amy, in the early hours of the morning, somehow slipped and fell into the sea. However, the fact that extensive searches, both by the ship and the Coast Guard, found no trace of her body or any personal effects makes this theory highly improbable. The vast watery expanse is immense, but such a complete lack of evidence is unusual. The second theory, and perhaps the most agonizing for her family, points towards kidnapping and human trafficking. The consistent, though unverified, reports of Amy being seen in Barbados and Curacao, accompanied by unknown men and under seemingly coerced conditions, lend significant weight to this hypothesis. Criminal organizations known to exploit vulnerabilities on cruise ships could have orchestrated her abduction. This theory would explain the absolute absence of traces on the ship itself and the subsequent, disturbing alleged reappearances of Amy in unexpected locations, but under someone else's control. The thought that Amy might still be alive, but trapped in a life of unimaginable horror, is a terrible burden for her loved ones. A less common, but equally unsettling theory suggests that Amy may have been the victim of a murder on board, with her body subsequently disposed of in a way that left no identifiable trace. The no-trace phenomenon, in some cases, can indeed be indicative of a deliberate and highly effective effort to conceal a crime. However, the absence of any signs of violence or struggle in her cabin or anywhere else on the ship makes this theory difficult to substantiate. Finally, there is the possibility, though largely dismissed by her family, of a voluntary disappearance. Yet, the Bradley family vehemently refutes this, citing Amy's optimistic state of mind and her clear future plans. Furthermore, the grim circumstances of the alleged sightings and her complete lack of contact with her family make this explanation highly improbable. What remains is a profound void, a dark abyss in the middle of the ocean, where a vibrant young woman simply vanished, leaving behind only questions and a shroud of impenetrable mystery. 27 years have passed since Amy Lynn Bradley disappeared from the Rhapsody of the Seas. 27 years of agonizing pain, persistent uncertainty, and an unrelenting search for answers. The case remains officially open, a deep, unsettling scar on the timeline of one of the greatest maritime mysteries. What truly happened to Amy Lynn Bradley? Is she still alive? Is she trapped somewhere, enduring an unimaginable nightmare? Or did the unforgiving vastness of the ocean, in its silent, consuming power, finally claim her, leaving no discernible trace? Amy Lynn Bradley's case is a chilling reminder of the profound fragility of existence, and how, at times, the line between reality and the truly terrifying inexplicable can become disturbingly blurred. It is the no-trace phenomenon in its purest, most haunting form. What do you think happened to Amy Lynn Bradley? Share your theories, insights, and any thoughts you may have in the comments below. And remember, in the abyss, it's not always what you see that truly frightens you. Sometimes, it's the unsettling absence of anything at all.